Well, at the end of the day, it comes down to what laws are respected and what laws are not respected. And we have an issue in that which we have laws that transit just sometimes respects and does not respect. But I want to go into something. In 1993, the FMA law was given, and the purpose of the law was that the employers are to provide job protection. I want to be very, very clear, job protection for medical and family reasons. And you get up to 12 weeks unpaid leave with no threat of job loss. This is a law, okay? Now let's get to the meat of the meal. We're talking about FMLA. Uh, how are you eligible for FMLA? There are three criteria. You work for the company for at least a year. You have 1,250 hours during the previous year. You work at a location that has at least 50 employees. Now, knowing this truth, Brother Staley, I want to ask you a question. What is the problem with FMLA and the transit worker?
Well, it's about interpretation. Transit constantly trying to interpret it to where it benefits them. And the union is not stepping up as far as holding them accountable to exactly what the law states you can and can't do. You have a problem as well with transit when it comes to it. First, let's deal with getting FMLA. Of course, you have a chronic illness, and your doctor signs off on the paperwork about your chronic illness. And of course, then you have to get approved. And they claim that it goes through their medical facility or for approval, or their doctors for approval. And upon approval of it, then you start dealing with how to take the leave, how to utilize the leave. And that's where transit does two things. They violate the law and they misinterpret the wording in the actual law itself. Because FMLA is actually 12 weeks of unpaid leave.
Question, Charlie, have you had any problems with FMLA?
Well, right now I'm off FMLA. It actually expired. I got to get it again. But last year when I applied for it, it took over 2 months for them to approve me, which is ridiculous. I mean, waiting 2 months just to get approval. I mean, they're aware that I have I have health issues. And I mean, now that it expired, I have to go back to my doctor and get it renewed again. So, I hope I don't have to wait another 2 months because I have to get surgery soon. So we'll see.
Brother Brock, have you had any issues with FMLA?
No, I've been on FMLA for about 3 years now, but I let it lapse one time because I got, as you see, I was blowing my nose because I got chronic nasalitis where my nose constantly drips. That's one form of FMLA. Well, I applied for FMLA for that. I got 4 screws in my back. And that's another FMLA. And I also, from the other thing that I talked about, I got cancer now. So that's FMLA.
Right.
You can't deny me, But it never took me. They give it to me like within 30 days.
Really?
Yeah, Chop, that's what I would say.
Shit, it took me 2 months to get it.
So somebody's not doing the paperwork proper.
Yeah. As usual.
Brother Staley, let me ask you a question. If this is the law, and knowing this truth that this is the law, why is it not being enforced?
Because not enough people are fighting against transit and what they do and how they treat us. Not just enough people, but especially when it comes to the union representation. It's like being a member of the union, and your union's supposed to support you in situations such as that. They don't help the member, nor do they support them, and it helps transit. A lot of people just figure they just, it's a hard thing to deal with, or people just don't know understand what they have to go through in this fight against them. There are a lot of people that dissuaded, for whatever reason, either inaccurate information from maybe the union or inaccurate information itself, and being threatened basically, because transit is like, when it comes to them, man, they're bullies when it comes to certain things. So yeah, it's mostly that people are dissuaded out of pursuing it and going further with it.
Brother Ward, I see you there. Let me ask you a question. Have you had any problems with FMLA?
Never applied for it.
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, sir. I got you. You never applied for it. Very good. Very good.
Let me interject this.
Yes,
I've applied for FMLA, and I did what was according to the law, regardless of what they say. Such as, one of the things that they utilize against is when you utilize FMLA and you put in your sick form, right? They try to ask you to put down your ailment. You don't have to put down your ailment. Okay, it's not their business. It's supposed to be private. Now, if it was approved by their doctors, then your FMLA is legitimate. So why is you asking people to put down their ailments? They do not have to put. That's supposed to be private. That's protected by the HIPAA law. Okay, so you don't have to do that. When you fill out a sick form and you use FMLA, that's what you put in the remarks column that far as what was your issue, or where it says you have to put in your ailment, you just put in FMLA. That's it, because they're supposed to already understand that if the TA doctor approved you for FMLA and you have it, then it's not your business about what is wrong with me. That's personal. That's still protected under the HIPAA law. So I don't have to tell you that. All I have to put in there, FMLA and what days that I took and turn in a form. And that's what I've done. But I heard a lot of stories from a lot of members that's put through a lot of extra stuff.
Yes.
Because people that don't know what they're talking about, people just want to bully, intimidate, and discourage you, and feel that they have a right to be in your business, and they don't have it. That's not true.
Well, since we're already there and the door's already been open, why is not our union holding the MTA accountable when clearly they violate the law?
That's a good question.
Well, I'm gonna give you a good answer. It's the dynamics of this union. It's the people that are in here. It's the mentality of the people that works here, and people that think they're in positions of authority figure that they have this control, this dictator mentality control over you, and it's not true. They threaten you with write-ups that are not true. And now I've seen write-ups that go through that where people were legitimately not guilty. So there's a monopoly here, and nobody is addressing it. That's the bottom line. That's the best way to put it.
Question, Brother Blocker, why is not our union holding the MTA accountable when clearly they're violating the law?
To be honest, I believe that they don't know what they're doing. That's basically it. They just don't know what they're doing. Because if I call the office to ask them a question, they got to call somebody else, then call somebody else. I had put in for some days. I spoke to Anna. They're telling me to take an emergency day. I already know I can do that. But because I put in for some days, because I told them I needed to go to the doctor. I could go call out FMLA, but I asked, I put in for some days to go to the doctor. They're telling me to do some other stuff. They did not know what they was doing.
Mm. I want to bring Charlie in real quick. Why is not our union holding the MTA accountable when they're clearly violating the law, sir?
You know what? That puzzles me. Either like I said before, they're either complacent, lazy, not knowledgeable. I mean, there's a whole. We have people who are inexperienced, who don't want to learn. They're just there for release time. And they're management friendly, so they don't want to stir the pot.
And just let me just throw this in there, Kenny. Charlie is right, I would say, with all the above, but I'm gonna be a little more frank. There's a lot of Black and Latino here. People that this union is not protecting these members. You're paying for not the full services that you're entitled to by the union. And as far as being somebody saying, well, they're not knowledgeable, let me tell you something. If you're in a position representing somebody, it's your job to find out what you can and can't do.
Well, I'm glad you said that. There have been individuals who have been told that they have to use their sick time, their vacation time, and things of that nature. Brother Staley, what time can be used when it comes to FMLA? Now, as I stated when I started, you get up to 12 weeks unpaid. Knowing this truth, I ask you, what time can be used?
Well, you could utilize time, but you have to understand the dynamics. TA is willing to give you whatever time you want once you get FMLA, because a lot of people don't realize that you're actually utilizing two different times, and you're not really getting the protection or the advantage that you're trying to get. They always hear when somebody say, okay, I'm going out FMLA. Like you said, it's unpaid leave. So they always throw this in there to spice it up. And especially if it's an element for you personally, you're allowed to, when it's personally for you, you're allowed to use sick time, vacation time, and whatever else to get paid. So people they'll throw that out there as you because they know people want to not, want to be out and also get paid. So they'll tell you can utilize this time and this time, but you got to understand that while you're using the FMLA 12 weeks, you're also utilizing a second set of time that you could be off, and that's your paid time. So that's included in the 12 weeks. So you're using 12 free weeks that's given to you by law, and now you're using up time, weeks, as far as if they utilize vacation and all that. So it's helping you. They're actually pushing you to exhaust the time that when you come back, these are times you no longer have. So now, after you burn up your 12 weeks, and you use your vacation time, your sick time or whatever, and you burn them up right along within them 12 weeks, you use the two leave absences here, the FMLA time, and you're using your vacation or whatever sick. And when you exhaust them, now you're at their mercy. You done used up your time, and now you have to come in. Unless you do what is known as WAP time, without pay, okay? And that's a whole nother subject when you start getting into that issue about WAP time. Because even though contractually, it does say you could utilize WAP time, but transit tried to discipline you for using, and you're not being paid. And that's also illegal, because you owe transit no explanation for time that you take off that they don't pay you for. You only ask it to hit them if you're being paid by them. Then they can ask you, you know, this, whatever question they want to ask you. But when you're not getting paid by them, that's not their business. But you do have to let them know, you know, to protect your job while you're out. You know, while
Yeah.
you're out.
Okay, so we have a situation where people have up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave, but sometimes they don't take those 12 weeks, so they exhaust their sick time and their vacation because they want to get paid. Is that correct?
Yeah, they try to correlate them together in order they throw that out there for you to because they know most people will, you know, say, well, I want to get paid while I'm out. So they throw that off out there. Only, I'm gonna repeat that, only if the FMLA is for you. You can't utilize your paid time for somebody else.
So we've heard horror stories in that which people had to use their vacation time. Okay. Would it be better for a transit employee to just take the unpaid 12 weeks and then deal with their sick time and their vacation time?
Yes, it would be.
Okay, because from what I'm hearing, a lot of people, they don't want to have those 12 weeks unpaid, so they want to get paid. And then by
They want to
doing
get paid, yeah.
right,
Mhm.
so by doing that, they exhaust all of that. So now they're at the mercy of the TA, right?
Yep.
Okay, we can go on with this.
Bad signal here.
Yeah, it's one of those things that well, I haven't yet experienced I have not yet experienced the FMLA as of yet. But one of the things that I do notice is that there is a lot of questions that people are asking and things of that nature, and they're just not getting the answer. Now, Brother Blocker, you said go ahead.
I just wanted to say this right
Yes,
quick.
sir.
When people use the sick time and later on transit try to bring them up on charges for
Right,
chronic absenteeism,
right.
that's illegal because actually they're violating the law. You already knew that you allowed me to use my sick time while I was out. So why would you bring me up on charges such as that when you know that that time was utilized while you were out on FMLA?
Who's here, the regular? I don't know. So we can do it.
So just let me point that out.
Cool. Let me see. Brother Ward, you want to say anything about the FMLA or things of that nature? Have you heard anything? Have you heard any stories from CTAs pertaining to that issue?
Not at all, bro.
Cool. Well, I want to end this segment because we're about to go someplace else. But final word to the Stations Department pertaining to FMLA, because a lot of people in the Stations Department, some of them are about to go on FMLA, and it's quite confusing for some of them. So final words to the Stations Department, Charlie Munoz, pertaining to FMLA only. Go.
Well, I mean, when it comes to FMLA, if you really need it, don't be afraid. You know, ask questions. We're there. There's 5 of us right here, and we can answer your questions. I didn't know anything about FMLA till I spoke to Staley about it, and that's how I was able to get on, because nobody tells you this information.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't that I knew Staley, I would have never been on FMLA. I'm glad he was there for me.
Brother Blocker, word to the Stations Department pertaining to FMLA.
Well, when you file for FMLA, be prepared to have a safety net. Because if you're going to take, majority of the people that I meet, all they're looking for is their paycheck. But if you don't have a safety net for when you don't get paid, because your money's going to change. See, that's up to you. You got to learn to save your money. Always have a safety net.
Or a plan B, correct?
Right. Plan A, B, C, and D. And when you're not getting no finances, you can use city agencies for help. Trust me, you can do that with a job.
Brother Ward, I want to bring you in, and I want
That's
you
it.
to. I want to bring you in, Brother Ward, for one thing specifically. How do you deal with an individual who's a bully? Now, what I'm saying is that we all know that when it comes to FMLA, transit tries to basically bully employees, okay, making them nervous in the service and sweat. So, to your brothers and sisters, how do you deal with the bully, sir?
I mean, me personally, I beat a bully up. If you really want to talk about it.
Yes, sir.
But in the bottom line, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The bottom line, like Munez said, if you don't know about it, ask somebody. Okay, you got brothers right here that can explain it to you. Okay, before you even attempt to go that route. So that way you know what you're getting in. You know what you'll be able to look forward to. You know when the time comes, oh yeah, this bump right here, Stanley told me about this. Oh, this bump right here, Blocker told me about this. You understand what I'm saying? Before you even, see, a lot of people look at FMLA as a way to get around. You know what I'm saying? They jam themselves up on that.
Yes, yes.
They jam themselves up on it. I see people that take FMLA and ain't even sick. I mean, not even sick. That's because they ain't got no sick time. They done burnt all their sick time out. Now they're using FMLA to get a couple of days off. You know what I'm saying? When you get down to that, then you really don't care about your job. I don't know how some of them people out there look at it, but this is my livelihood. I get up every day and come to work because I have to get paid. I'm taking care of my family. This is a career job. This is not a regular job. This is a career job. Here you work 11 months and get paid for 12. Some work 10 months and 3 weeks and get paid for the rest. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Take this here seriously. Now, if you need to take FMLA, know what it's for first.
Right.
Know what it's for.
Right.
And if you need to take it, then you go ahead and do so. But like Blocker said, have a plan B, C, and D. Don't abuse it.
Sir. Very good. Stanley, let me ask you a question. To your brothers and sisters in the stations department, final word on FMLA. Go.
Well, the best advice I could give you is once you start thinking about trying to get FMLA, is to look up some of this information for yourself. A lot of this you can just Google and look up what you can and can't do before you start doing your paperwork. This way, when you speak with somebody, you'll know if they know what they're talking about. And that's the easiest way to do it. This way, you know who to avoid. You know who did their homework and who did.
Okay.
So that's the best I could say.
I'm going to ask this question to everybody. First, Munez, can you trust the union reps that we have today to help you with FMLA? Yes or no?
Bullshit. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I got a cold. Coming down with a cold.
I think I caught that code. So.
God bless me.
Do I trust him?
Yeah,
Hell
God bless you, son.
Hell no.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Whew.
Okay, Block, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, wait a minute, did Charlie finish?
Yeah,
Charlie,
I finished.
You
Yeah, 2
finished?
words.
Okay.
Hell no.
Brother Blocker, can you trust the union reps that we have to help the members navigate through the field of FMLA?
To be honest, there are some that you can nitpick information from. But then the ones that everybody gives you different information. See, it's up to you to utilize the information that you're getting and put it together yourself. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. See, I know about 2-3 people I can call and get valid information. And then out of the other 5, I have to put their information together, if you know what I'm saying.
Got
Because
you.
they give it to you confusing. And then they try to do it for you, but then they get it all mixed up. They just mess it up.
Mm.
Then I call Stanley, you know?
Yes.
That's it.
Okay, brother Ward, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to work with you because I know that you got this cold. But the
Yes,
situation is that what I'm gonna ask you is, can the members today go to the union and say, I need help with FMLA and get qualified answers?
I would tell you, man, no. I don't even think they know. You understand what I'm saying? My thing is, I've called the union a couple of times on some issues. I haven't heard nothing from them. I dealt with the issues myself. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Dealt with all the issues myself. And if I needed help, yeah, y'all may think this is a broken record or something, right? But if I needed help, I called Stanley. You know, that's the go-to guy. You know why? He gonna tell it like it is, man. I tell you, you wanna know how you can find out a person that knows about the union? Go to the union meeting and watch everybody that's in office. Watch who they throw shade to. Then you know. Then you know who know what they talking about down there in that union hall.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, loud and clear, sir.
There's been plenty of times when I stood up and told Wichar, shut the fuck up and let him speak. He ain't like that, but I did it. You know what I'm saying? As far as me going down into that union, trying to get some help on any situation, I don't think it's gonna be a good outcome. You know why? Where the union been at, man? Where have they been?
Good question.
They can't say they've been out here in the field, because if they did, they got certain spots where they go. It must be a restaurant or something nearby. I haven't seen them on my stations. I haven't seen them on any of my stations. And I was at Utica for 2 years. Before that, I was at Broadway Junction for 6. Now I'm over here where I'm at, on 3. I ain't seen no union officials. As bad as it may sound, you know who I seen out of the last regime? You know who I seen out on the field? Bermudez. I give him that.
Yeah.
I give him that. He did wrong. He popped up in the places where you would least expect him to be. He did come through. You know what I'm saying? But as far as all these cats, shit, Kelly ain't been down in the station since he got the driving job. I ain't seen this dude. Think he's scared to get one of them suits dirty. I know he ain't been underground.
Why do you think there's such a disconnect between the members and this current union leadership? I'll let you have the last word, sir.
Who that, me?
No, I want Stanley to answer that.
Oh boy, I'm glad. Oh boy. All right, Stan.
All right, no. I'll flip it back to you, sir. You know what the question is. Answer it. Why is there such a disconnect?
Why is there such a disconnect between the union officials
and the union
members and the members? You know why? I'm gonna tell you why it's a disconnect. And this is the guy's honest truth. The members is looking for answers. And the only one that can answer the questions is the same cat that won't send his kids on the train.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All the rest of them, they can't answer the question, so they don't want to be bombarded with the bus. Okay? They know. I can't answer what they get ready to ask me. Let me stay out their way. That's how that is. That's why it's a big disconnect. They feel if they say something wrong, they might lose their position. So they're comfortable where they at.
So what you're telling me is that the position is more greater than helping the members.
Hey, man, listen, let me tell you something, man. When I was a conductor, I went down to 130 right now. I realized there's a lot of conductors. There's a lot of clerks that's working downtown in the office.
Yes.
In 130.
Yes.
They got jobs. You
Yes.
know, they come to work 9,
Yeah.
they leave at 5,
Yeah.
or they come to work at 8, they leave at 4.
Yeah.
You know, they ain't got to put no uniform on, none of that.
Right.
They get comfortable with that shit. Till a motherfucker tell them, yo, you got to go back to the road. Now they pissed off. They trying to figure out what they did wrong. It's the same way with the union. Them people in there, they know, they see. I'm quite sure they see some bullshit going on. And they just scared to say something. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta understand, the 5 brothers you see right here, right now, I'm gonna tell you, man, we gonna wind up being union officials on the road. I can see it coming.
Yep.
Because once they elect us to get up in there, we gonna shut it down. We're not gonna let them pass that bullshit by us. It's not gonna work. And you know what they said? The president got the last say. So we already got a strike against us because you know, they know all about Stanley. When we get up in there, boy, it's gonna be a problem. Bottom line, they ain't gonna be able to tell us, shh, shh, take this here $20, $30 and be quiet, don't worry about it. It ain't gonna happen, bro, because y'all been robbing me. I'm coming up in there to find out who was robbing me and how they was doing it. They've been robbing me as well as every other union member for the last how many years?
11, 12 years.
And we gotta fight to get our little peanut raise? Come on,
And
man.
they get snow duty. Stanley,
on,
why is there
man.
such a disconnect? And I'll let you close it out, sir.
The disconnect is because there's no trust. You can't trust the people that claim they're supposed to be representing you. You know, I always said, if you can't represent yourself, how can you represent somebody else? The lack of putting competent people in there is because it's a direct insult to the workforce itself. You know, we don't care about you. We don't care about your job. So management keeps going, running labor relations in the manner in which it's run. And the union gives this half-assed representation so they be able to say, well, we represent them, but it's supposed to be competent representation.
Yes.
That's the key word here. It's
Yes,
supposed to be competent.
Yes. Yes.
And they're not doing that. And we're not getting that from the union.
Let me point out that people are finally waking up because when the MTA threatened not to give us this raise that contractually they were supposed to,
Right.
the union comes out and says, we win. What the hell did we win? You mean we didn't lose? There's a difference between winning and losing. Okay.
That's it.
Contractually, that was ours regardless. You know, they
Yes.
agreed to it. That was in the 2019 budget. Okay. And I may have the book that they gave out during that MTA board meeting, and I can prove that was already set in stone 2 years ago. So they couldn't go back on it. Even though this contract was ratified last year, it was already set in stone by the MTA that we were going to get 2% with this fiscal year. So we didn't win shit, okay? And when people see these false, accolades for the union, you know, we're waking up. We're waking up. We're seeing these guys are lying to us, and they want us to applaud them for doing nothing. That's not going to work anymore. It's not.
And also understand this, which I was saying for the longest. When we get these raises and it's within the 2% realm, TA automatically budgets in 2% raises for us as a starting point.
Yes.
As a starting point for
Yes.
for negotiation. And
Correct.
if they get us to go on and settle at that point, they come out the victor every time they come to us and say, oh, it's a winner. No, we win nothing. TA automatically every physical year in their budget, they budget in 2% for raises for the workers, period.
Let me point out that prior to this current contract, the last two contracts we had, the raises amounted to an average of 1.69%.
Yes.
Okay, that is way below the rate of inflation. Okay, way below the cost of living. And the union has always been happy about these what they call raises. I don't consider that a raise. As a matter of fact, they talk about percentages, but they don't talk dollars. And the reason why, because it sounds better in percentage wise. So
Right.
if I tell you, you know what, out of those $1,000 that you're making a week, you're gonna get a 2% raise, and you're like, wow, really? That sounds pretty good. But if I would tell you in dollar cents, excuse me, and they say, well, you know that $1,000 you're getting a 2% raise, which comes out to $20, before taxes.
Makes a
And
difference.
you know what that good for? 3 cups of coffee at Starbucks a week. That's it. Are you happy with that? Is anybody happy with three cups of coffee? Because if you are, come to my house, guys. Now I'll serve you coffee, just give me your $20, So if you can be bought for 3 cups of coffee, then you're a sucker.